The price of Bitcoin is looking very boring. It is downtrending throughout the last few weeks, and we are speculating on a possible reversal. But let's stay real. The price continues to move to the downside. And the bounce that we got at $99,000 doesn't look too convincing, but we could give it a chance. We'll be breaking down the technicals in today's episode. And I just want to let you know, this morning I have been taking a look at a few altcoins that look very interesting. We'll be covering them in the live stream later on today because, yes, whoever got into ICP just a few days ago, we were speculating on this very big support zone to get a bounce in the next coming days to revisit the highs of the wick at $6.60. $5 did hold nicely as support, and we're already pumping over 70% in less than 24 hours. We're currently just getting above $8 at the moment. So whoever is in ICP, you're welcome. Let's go right away and cover the Bitcoin technical analysis. I know it seems kind of boring. Later on in the live stream, I got a few altcoins, guys, that, you know, they are changing trend. They're breaking some resistance, and there could be some very good opportunities in the next coming days, okay? I do believe that they're good opportunities, just like ICP potentially. And there's just, half of a dozen that are getting my attention, but I'm going to keep that for the live stream later on, okay? Let's cover the Bitcoin technical analysis here, because let's say that this bounce is poor and we're going to form a lower high. We rolled over yesterday ever so slightly. The biggest zone where we can get supported is the point of control of this big major consolidation between 2024 and 2025. The thing is, can we hit that level or will we front run it, right? Because my main target here for the bullish case is at least getting to $116,000. At least that's the target zone that I do believe, based on the technicals, we are going to reach at some point in the coming weeks, right? The question is the low in? Do we create one more low, okay, and hit below 99K, 98K to $96,000 is the interest zone where I believe, based on the technical analysis, we're not going to break down that level successfully, okay? That's what I believe. My technicals, no financial advice. It's only my opinion and my technical analysis, which would bring a awesome opportunity to catch Bitcoin at a very, very low price. Of course, then you have the conservative side where you're looking for a sign of strength. The pump that we had throughout the last few days, I mean, it doesn't look too convincing to be an impulse, okay? It really does not, okay? We'll be talking about the possibilities of a higher low here, which they are there, okay? Bitcoin always surprises us, right? Where it looks like it's going to roll over and then suddenly forms a higher low and then takes off, right? So we're going to be talking about that speculation throughout today's video update, guys. Just a quick update also on a few scenarios later on as well throughout the video. And make sure to stay tuned. A quick shout out to BTCC and Bluffing, guys. BTCC, you can trade gold and stocks here using cryptocurrency stablecoin, and you have up to $10,000 in reward bonuses. Bluffing right now with this 20% cashback, guys. Make sure to read the terms and conditions and you can claim those bonuses. Bluffing and BTCC links are down below in the description. So let's go right away here with the price of Bitcoin first of all. Then we'll cover a little bit of data and liquidity heat map, and then we'll dive in, of course, into the ICP price, which is just absolutely ripping, guys. This is not stopping, okay? I know ICP is one of my biggest altcoin bags that I bought in 2025. Well, it's the only one mainly that I bought quite a lot throughout this consolidation. And also the spring point did add a little bit here, just above $4. And then, well, surprise, surprise, we're going up here. We'll be covering this a little bit later on, okay? Not much to discuss. It's just really moving up and up and up and up, okay? And, similar to Zcash, which is just absolutely ripping. I've seen many people on X speculating on this is going to be the biggest short in history. This was 2 weeks ago when we were trading below $300 because it already pumped up significantly throughout October. And I'm not sure what those people are thinking about now about this being the greatest short. This is pumping aggressively, big major uptrend. There's no reason to believe that this is going to stop anytime soon. And that's what I believe here on ICP. What if ICP is just starting one of the biggest pumps that we've seen, okay, in crypto for a long, long time. And this is just the beginning stages. You got to respect the pump, and you need to respect the break of the downtrend structure with this major rally we've had in the last few days. Let's cover the price of Bitcoin. That's a little bit more difficult at this moment because it's a little bit boring. The bounces are not too powerful. I just want to talk about why this point of control, which we do not know if it's going to be hit. Let's be honest. There is a bearish case that I want to cover on the 1 hourly time frame, which takes us down to below 99K and then gives us possibly that bottom formation and long opportunity. But I just want to point out how these big range point of controls are so respected. We did have a few, quite large, about 1 to 2 months ranges where they have been respected. We got this nice range over here. We got this range right over here. Now, as you can see with the price action after these ranges, when you leave this range, you can see how that point of control acted as major resistance, but to the dollar, and got a major pullback of several $1,000s here in the case of Bitcoin. Now, as we left this range, the only moment that we came back down to revisit was on the 17th of October. We can see that major rally of $10,000 here that we got from this point of control. As you can see, these little ranges, okay, they are much smaller than this one. This is a beast compared to this range, and the point of control is sitting at 96.5K. So we are just $5,000 away, right? We were just $2,000, $2,500 away from the drop that we had a few days ago. Would have been nice to actually come down there and get this over with. But I'm going to talk about the possibility, okay, of forming a lower high here and coming down. And I'll also talk about the possibility of forming a higher low, right, in this range and pumping and breaking through resistance. We'll be talking about a major resistance area where the price could reject shortly for a scalp day trade down back to the lows, potentially, how to enter, how to manage risk, okay, guys? So make sure to stay tuned. I just wanted to cover how important these range point of controls have been, right? Throughout the history of Bitcoin. I mean, we just taking a look here at the last year's price action, but you can see range point of control, you leave the zone. When you come back down, major support. Range point of control, when you leave, come back up, major resistance. This is like another level range, and we are not too far away of coming down here. If we were to come down here, there's no doubt that I'm interested and long in this area, okay, as we do get the reaction, okay. Managing risk, you don't need to put stop loss down here, guys. You need to put stop loss beneath the possible fake out, right? Give or take a few $100s beneath and have a couple of attempts potentially, because the bounce of this zone can be great. Let's cover the 1 hourly time frame on the price of Bitcoin, just quickly going through here this major downtrend. Now, the bullish case scenario is that we have formed an ABC here and it has finished to the downside. ABC movement to the downside. We got our first rally in a wave one. This rally does not look too convincing to be an impulse. There is a way to find here a contracting diagonal just by a hair. The fifth wave, all right, is just $1 smaller than the third wave, which gives it a valid contracting diagonal. The movement down is extremely choppy. We're just bouncing at the golden pocket and reclaiming that point of control that we mentioned yesterday. We did break down, got above it. I have to say, it is acting as support. We are reclaiming it. We are supported here by the golden pocket from the pivot low to the pivot high. So the chance of a higher low here is there. However, the price, you would want to see a clear uptrend structure here and an impulse to really be confident that this could form a higher low in between 50% and the 7/8 Fibonacci, which is usually where you form a higher low for that wave two before you get the major pump up. I think that, you need to manage risk very, very good here. It is not clear, guys. It is definitely not clear that this is a wave one, okay? It doesn't look great, okay? So I would be extremely cautious, realizing that there is a good chance that we could come down to the lows. Trading is all about taking the shot, right? I like it. Possible higher low. There is a valid impulse counted here. Not the greatest in a contracting diagonal. Wave 5 almost been longer than wave 3. There's a lot of red flags in this movement to be a higher low. But this is what happens, right? If we do get that major pump in the next coming days of several $1,000s in that wave 3 or wave C, then eventually, right, it is the market makers do test you, right? Is this just a lower high and it's going to roll over, right? If it looks like that, it probably is that, right? So the thing is, the bearish case scenario here is that we form a 5-wave move to the downside. We are basically at the sweet spot of that potential wave 4. You don't want overlap from your wave 1 right over here. And so far, if you get Fibonacci from the start of wave 3 to the end of wave 3, in between the 382 and the 50% Fibonacci is your common target for the wave 4. So yes, maybe this is the wave 4. We're coming down in that wave 5 already in the next, 1 to 2 days. I understand that. I wouldn't be too fussy and go too crazy. If we do get a sign of strength, we could eventually add to a position if you did enter in this zone. But I would keep this small, okay? Because we are rolling down, we are downtrending, and we try to detect that reversal point, which right now is not a major green light here for this to be a wave 1 and a wave 2, okay? It does not look great. It does really look like it could be a lower high and we come down and hit the lows, which eventually down here where we have the 22nd of June higher low, right? Right over here, major pivot higher low, and the point of control just $1,000 away from that level. It makes it such an interesting area, considering that, if we do move down in a 5-waver, we are looking for this 5th wave to find support here and get a significant rally, most commonly to get all the way up here to the 4th wave lower high, right? That is already a move of $6,000-$7,000, which has a good chance, guys, throughout the next coming days if we were to come down there. Any longs taken from here, guys, to speculate on this being an ABC, right? When we do take a look at the ABC speculation, the main reason why we're speculating on that ABC is because, yes, we could have a 3-wave structure here and a 3-wave structure here. And what we are looking for is that flat move here, right? Where we form a 5-wave coming up to hit $116,000. It's very difficult, right? We always wait for a sign of strength. This is not the best sign of strength, I have to say. Getting a 5-wave impulse in this zone does not look great. So anybody that is attempting a higher low here at in between 50% and the 7/8 Fibonacci, needs to realize that it doesn't look that great and you need to manage risk. If we start rolling down from here, I would be just more than happy to, get stopped out, close my position, and wait for the lows here to re-enter on the reaction for a long here, or either a long on the reclaim of the lows of the 22nd of June. If you were to break down here aggressively and go well below $96,000, I am not interested in any long positions on catching a falling knife. I need the reaction and get above these major levels, as explained, to speculate on the 5th wave and the relief rally to see if it is going to be corrective or impulsive. But that is the interest zone that I do have here on the price of Bitcoin. And I am interested in a higher low here as well. I'm just not going into heavy, right? So that's the scenario, okay? This is acceptable to speculate on a higher low. If we do not higher low and we break down from this low, I would say that's the next level of interest. I would be happy to cancel, okay, the long positions and just look for longs on the reaction of any of these two levels, 98.2K or 96.5K point of control of range of 2024 and 2025. If the price does get a bounce from here, we still have the potential of forming a 4th wave. As long as we do not overlap here this wave 1, then eventually the price could attempt here still in a 3-wave structure. Remember what happened last week where we got the pump, we formed a higher low, and we just tested the highs here ever so slightly just to roll over and come back down and test the lows. 3-wave. A 3-waver here is still on the cards. Which is the best level to speculate on that? Look no further. It is the 50% Fibonacci. That's like your last zone to reject here in that wave 4, which is sitting at 105.1K. The interesting thing about the 105.1K level is that we do have a nice order block right over here. We've got the first lower high, right? The first dead cat bounce, right? After, that fair value gap, we've got a big move down here. Well, big move. It was about $2,000, right? Almost $3,000. And we got a fair value gap here. And always the lower part of a fair value gap here, the top of the order block, right, dead cat bounce, usually provides a good SFP zone, right? Not breaking above the fair value gap, and it acts as big resistance. That's actually exactly where we have the 50%. That would be only my short speculation if we create a swing failure pattern, right? If we were to climb up there and reject from that zone, I know this still has the potential of a lower high. So it would be entry point on the rejection, stop loss at the high. That's it. The risk to reward is really targeting another new low here. Yeah, it's very much a possibility. The good thing about this is that, you know, you're risking very small percentage, right, in this little move, because the move to the downside is much greater than what you're risking, right? Give or take 5-6 to 1 risk to reward, depending on your entry on average here. And you don't need to go too heavy, right? You're going to give it a chance if you do create that swing failure pattern, and you can manage risk very well on this scenario. So that is a possibility. That was my only level of interest for the short. Longs at this zone in between 50% and golden pocket. We are reacting at that point of control. You know, I would manage risk here like a beast. Okay, I think it's not worth it to have any adding long to positions. Even though if we break down, I would be happy to just be out of the position and check the reaction for some new longs at these levels of support as mentioned. Okay. Not much more has to be said on Bitcoin. Later on, we'll be doing a live stream, guys. Make sure to stay tuned. ICP is absolutely flying at this moment. We've got some bad comments on people. A lot of people are in disbelief. You know what they say? You need to respect the pump if it's breaking aggressively. This project, make sure to do some research, does have potential to disrupt. It has something different, right, from other blockchain projects. Make sure to do your research, guys, on this one. And this is the main reason why I invested pretty heavily here for an altcoin, right? I'm heavy on Bitcoin, but for an altcoin, what I invested in this zone is pretty heavy for it to be an investment on altcoin. And I, really was underwater on my spot bags as we got this liquidation event. But right now it is in the green, and I'm super happy. And I'm super happy anybody that did join throughout 2025 downtrend, between $5 and $6. And even, I did see some people actually getting in at $3 range after the collapse. People happy to accumulate in this zone. The market is here to test you. The market is here to, get you down underwater. And then obviously you need to give some hope, right? Definitely not a good idea to sell down here at a loss. And I was very vocal about this, not selling, guys. I do believe in the project, and let's see if we do recover in the next coming months. And it's just been a few weeks since that drop that we're recovering insanely right now. And this looks like it doesn't want to stop. Nothing much to say. This one definitely has the chance to really be, like a Zcash. Maybe this pumps 500% in the next coming weeks, guys. Okay, so it does have the potential to do so. Make sure to do your research, and you will see how this project is actually quite different from the rest of the blockchain projects, right? A lot of people have been focusing on Sui, on Polkadot, which seems like dead, Avalanche, and they're not doing much, and they don't have nothing different, nothing special. And ICP definitely does have something different from the others. Not much more has to be said, guys. Let's take a look here. Obviously, at the sentiment, we do have Bitcoin has gone down more than 20%, 7 times this cycle. There will be one of them that will be 20%, and then it will be 30 and 40%, right? And it just gets into the bear market, right? So as we are in Q4 still of the 4-year cycle theory, we are going to give a chance here for Bitcoin to recover in the next coming weeks. And let's see how that recovery is going to be. Is it going to be looking poor, corrective, or impulsive? And it does look like we could go to higher levels. But it is true that this is just still uptrending. It's just a major pullback from the rally that we had since April. Since April to August, we did pump $50,000 on Bitcoin. Major rally. So a 20% pullback seems just about right for the price to actually come down and then find a floor here below 100k zone and look for a recovery in the next coming weeks, right? It seems very realistic here for that to happen. Extreme fear index, of course, we do see it at 20 levels every time we've gone down here in this bull market. We're still in a bull market, even though we broke the 50 weekly moving average, as they say, right? That's the bear market confirmation. This could be very close and having a local low, and we need to see that recovery if it is going to be bullish on the price of Bitcoin. The liquidity is good. We have had a major liquidation event throughout the last few weeks, which is good. Lots of liquidity to the upside. We've kind of had a really good reset of long liquidations, all right? And now eventually we have a lot of short liquidations, a lot of people speculating on bear market, which is obviously bringing fuel for a recovery in the next coming weeks, guys. Not much more has to be said. Thank you for joining. We'll be doing a live stream later on. ICP absolutely ripping. Whoever's in, congratulations. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.